that was the problem. Okay, there we go. Okay. I think I finally figured out my problem with YouTube. So if you're tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the delay. So hopefully everybody's having a good week. If you're on YouTube, this has been a recorded thing, so not exactly the point of a live, but hopefully you're finding some value and tuning back in. So as the numbers grow, hopefully the quality does as well. Always a process to get this stuff sorted through here. All right, ready to go. One last final piece of information to throw in here and work on. So, highlights and high fives. Welcome back to another community update on what's going on, at least from my perspective. So, I've been hot and heavy. Just show you here. Working on a desk for the podcast studio. Hopefully going to kick into gear. Some good podcasts coming in here soon. I've got Hank Burby, Bob Burby, my pastor Nathan from church, Trevor from the director of the YMCA in town, and lots of other people on the docket here for 2025 for the podcast. Going to look for a nice, well, not looking for, I've already found one, a nice podcast space to have the podcast in town, so I can have a consistent spot there. That's something I've been looking for a while. So anyway, been in the shop working on this table here. So have that coming to fruition here soon. We'll be talking beginning of February, and then those podcasts will start coming out after that. Got some people from the school board on the docket to come on too. So if you got opinions or questions or comments to ask these folks, let me know, and I'd be happy to chat with them on the podcast here coming up before too long. So, what are some things to highlight? Obviously, it's finally warmed up outside and it's raining. Things are thawing out and all that comes with. So hopefully you don't have any leaks or leaky pipes that you just got taken care of. I've heard plenty of stories of that. So some of the tidbits here to go through that I've come across here lately. So some of the most interesting stuff from Marysville Matters to highlight. Been working on a city council replacement for J.R. Roush, who stepped down. And they've been looking for somebody to fill. It sounds like there's kind of been a stalemate in getting that decision taken care of. So, as you can kind of read in here, that it says they were locked, I think, 3-2 on making a selection of who that was. And because they didn't take care of that decision last night, which would have been Thursday the 30th, the decision falls to President of Council, Donald Berger. And I think last I saw, his vote was for Julie Kramer, who I can remember serving on Team Marysville with back in the day. That group is kind of formed into, or the new group to replace that, I guess maybe is a better way to put it, is Main Street Marysville. So anyway, involved in the Uptown and activities with that back in the day, and she was on there, and as far as I can remember, was a great community advocate and involved in the community, I believe. So sounds like lots of good candidates there, can't go wrong, but the beauty is we've got lots of people excited for the community and supporting it. The challenge is we've all got different ways of getting there, so we'll see how that goes. It sounds like they haven't made a decision there, so we'll see how that goes. So the next one is interesting. From Marysville Matters, his headline is Marysville City Coffers flush with cash and investment to end 2024. So basically it says they got more money than they expected. To me, that with all the conversation I hear about TIFs and when I put polls out on social media and ask for people's feedback, a common thread is the use of money from the city. Now, mind you, I always put the caveat in here that I live out in the country. I don't live in the city, so I'm just an innocent bystander making my opinion known. But it sounds like they've got lots of money. They're giving developers deals for different things on TIFs and whatever it is. Again, I'm no expert, just putting my 2 cents out there. But it sounds like they've got a good bit of money. So that's another goal here on this this stream here on Fridays and the podcast and different venues that I'm putting information out, is to educate myself along with providing information to my community in a different format. I don't see many people doing any sort of news update and video or much media content, pictures and video for this kind of stuff. So, but in that process, hoping to educate myself and learn a little bit more. As I heard Joe Case from Marysville Matters when I met with him a couple weeks ago, he said, yeah, just be pro-community. And I said, that's a good way to put it, being pro-community. So that's my goal, is to support the community and get through those things. So looking to learn more about these numbers and what it all means. Because one of the things I joke about when people talk about politics and what it looks like, to me, I'm being sarcastic and being ridiculous, but to me, this is the state of things to get things figured out. Like, it's this big thing of spaghetti that you can't really make straight. It's just all over the place, and it's hard to understand each part of it. So anyway, not to ramble too much, but yeah, it's challenging to understand the total breadth of finances for the city, and it's easy for me to sit here on my computer and my camera and say they should be doing it better, but that's not what I want to imply ever. Well, everybody can always be doing better. But just an interesting article here that it looks like about $5 million more than they expected. And obviously, we hear the words millions and we think, woo, that's a lot of money. But really, the reality is for the city, that's more like thousands to us, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see more money there, or more information there, and develop that as we go. And again, Joe Case with Marysville Matters here is putting some good specific information, and that's one place I lack. I always think the devil's in the details as far as reading the world and people and what's going on, and it's the little things that speak volumes. I don't pay attention to sports really at all, let alone our local sports. I hear things when I asked what the hot topics of our community were currently. One of the things I was told was the anticipation of the announcement of the new football coach. for Marysville High School. And it sounds like he was awarded it. And then shortly after, Chase Longwell decided to move on from that. And there's the quote here from the that he provided to the dispatch. Longwell told the dispatch that he made the decision based on uncertainty of landing a teaching job in the school district by the beginning of the 25-26 school year. He also cited 2 failed levies, which led to the school board voting last year to raise athletic participation fees. Now, not to read too much between the lines and generate any conspiracy theories, but it almost seems as though this decision was made, or that Mr. Longwell made the decision before he was selected. Or I'm suggesting that it seems like if he wasn't planning to stick with it, he might have dropped out ahead of time. And maybe this was a stance that I've heard and felt from other teachers and folks in the school district, that the uncertainty and sometimes feeling as though they're not getting the care and concern that they wish they had from the community at large, the school district, whoever it might be. So to me, this reads like a little bit of opportunity to publicly say there's a lot of uncertainty and we need to take care of what needs taken care of, which is another big hot topic I've gotten a lot of here lately. That, community needs to support community and be pro-community. And this is just one more evidence of an unsettling time for our community. Police cruisers, blah, blah, blah. State of the city, that's always can be an interesting one. It's a bit of a sales pitch for the city, March 3rd, so mark your calendars for that if you want to take a look at that. Honda recalled a bunch of vehicles. A pump station project was awarded. Exciting news. They're going to be able to pump waste. Hope Center seeking volunteers for Saturday. So that's a great organization. If you don't know anything about that, I'll provide a link here somewhere for the Hope Center. Take a look at their activities. They do a lot of good work there. So I encourage you to search your heart for that opportunity. And then Joe is kind enough to get this horrible picture of me and promote my podcast. So I appreciate him promoting that out there. So thank you for that, Joe. Let's see what else. I will provide a link in the description somewhere for a survey that Joe Case also is doing, evaluating the trust in the community and what's going on at that level, and how much do people trust. It was everything from city council, city administration, senators, Congress that represent us here locally, all the way to people on social media. And he phrased it in a way of, excuse me, sawdust stuck in there. How much do you trust these folks or entities to do the right thing? And I thought that was an interesting phrasing of that. So I'll link that in there. I encourage you to fill that out and help provide some hopefully productive, constructive feedback here in our community. Like I said, state of the city. The big hot topic for me, other than just general growth in our community, is, like I said, the levy. That's one big thing that I want to keep hitting. I'm going to talk to Bill Keck here on the podcast, president of the school board. I think we're going to talk the first week of March. So hopefully that'll provide some good information for the upcoming levy at the beginning of May. So if you've got questions there or concerns or things to share that maybe we can investigate beforehand to try to shed some light on some of those things, that would be appreciated. Along with some other content I'm going to try to create there. A nice one that I was not aware of that somebody informed me of, the Union County Foundation has a scholarship fund for arts with the pay-to-play fee going up for arts as well, making it harder, just like all the other activities, for folks to have the finances to participate in some of these activities. So if that's something you're in the need of, check out the Union County Foundation to learn more. Another hot topic that was referenced And again, it sounds like it's been delayed for a little while, so who knows when it's going to come. And I haven't really seen renderings of exactly what it's going to be. But the roundabout at 5 points, that'd be an interesting one to see a survey on. How effective is it going to be? Somebody said they're going to spend money on it, and it's not going to be effective or fix the problem. And so my question would be, what is the problem? It's 5 roads coming together. I think it's inevitable that it's going to be a challenge and a problem of traffic getting through there, getting to their destinations and moving forward. To me, it seems like the businesses around there that are fairly new and obviously aren't going to be demolished just to do this roundabout. It'll be a fairly condensed roundabout. I don't think it'll be a big one. I've been meaning to pull up maps and do some measurements and try to see what it would look like compared to other roundabouts in our vicinity. But I'm part of another group that is assessing growth and looking at things here in the community. And one of the folks shared some information about how much traffic has increased. I think it was like an 80% increase in traffic accidents in the last 10 years out here in the Marysville area. And I've joked that drivers have gotten worse lately. Apparently that's true. So one of my arguments has just been in general that our small town is not so much of a small town anymore, and a lot of people want to say, well, we can still keep the character and the culture and the whatever, but Columbus was a small town at one point, and now it's not. So there's some dividing line that we get too big for being a small town and a lot of the characteristics that some of us would really value in that small town nature. It's just kind of an argument of where is that line, and is there anything, or what's the best course of action moving forward? So that's always an interesting one to me. Let's see, what else is on my list? Roundabout, survey. So I was going to inform you of some of my upcoming content and some things I've got going on. Like I said, I've got the podcast coming up. I'm working on the space there. Hopefully to have some better sound and more consistency there. I always call if you want to have a chat on the podcast and have a conversation about being pro-community, whatever that might look like to you, or some good stuff that we can talk about to promote more good stuff in the future. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm starting some series, neighborhood tours. As a real estate agent, my goal is to be a resource, a consultant, and an advisor for my community and my clients. So showing some more helpful information on making better real estate decisions. So providing some neat videos, hopefully, to educate folks that are looking to come to the community and move around the community on the neighborhoods that we have here to offer, as well as space tours, just like a listing video of a house, showcasing some of the cool spots around town. For those that might not see it, my next one, I did the first one on my wife's dance studio, the Academy of Dance over by Benny's. The next one I'll be doing is House of Spirits. I'll be filming that and Leon's next week, so hopefully I can come up with some interesting video there to promote that or present that place to the world on the internet. Obviously, a lot of us know those spaces here, but those coming to the area might find it neat to see it before they get here. And just learn about the community. Like I always say, my parents in the house I grew up in and now live in, that I bought from my parents, when they were looking around Columbus, they were just looking to be out in the country far enough away that they could have some ground, but still be somewhat close to downtown Columbus for Dad's work. And Marysville is the place they chose. So if there's folks out there looking to get around the area of Central Ohio and be out in the country, I think this is a great place to be. Even though I think it's getting too crowded. But that's just my opinion. Recent growth. Talking about the recent growth is another video that I'm working on. Talking about just the recent growth and the reality, because sometimes I look at what's gone on and I'm just surprised and amazed every day how much seems to keep popping up left and right. And again, I decided to stay here because it was a small town and didn't anticipate things growing as much as they did. I came back from college in 2008, 2009, and I remember after 2008, the downturn in the economy, things just kind of sat empty for a while. Development ground that had signs, and I guess I got a little used to that and thought maybe it won't be here for a while. And to be honest, probably didn't really pay attention to it and process it all that much. But really taking a look at the recent growth and kind of what's going on, and It'd be great to have a line graph of exactly what's gone on. And so maybe we'll get to that point. But presenting some alternative ways of looking at things and having different conversations. Again, working to be pro-community and support what's going on. So, next, thought we'd run through the housing market as a real estate agent, looking to be an advisor and a consultant to my clients to try to help you, give you a little information to help you make better decisions moving forward. Staying informed. So here's a CMA comparative market analysis, which really, in this case, is just an overview of the market. It's not comparing any specific listing as I normally would for a potential listing. I did a deep dive last time on the numbers from last December and kind of the current where we were at in the month of the 24th. So click back and take a look at that if you want some more information there. But just to kind of run through things here, we've got an active listing count for, again, this is for the Marysville School District is where I focus in on specific numbers. 42 active listings, which is up a fair bit, and that's doing pretty good, which gives people more available inventory to pick from. And again, over here, I always like using my little marker here. Over here, it shows that we've got 21 or 28 days on market for things that have closed. So things that have closed and went into contract and closed, it took 28 days on average to get to that point. So that's up from recent history. And if you'll see, here is 65. Up here, we have 65 days on market for active listings. Things are sitting on the market longer. What I'm getting at is if you're buying, it's less competitive than it was. But the other part of it, the value continues to go up. As for all of us, price in financing is always a challenge. And it's not that we can snap our fingers and have extra money. We got to play by the rules of the finance game. So as it's not as competitive, the pricing keeps going up, which adds competitiveness to the market as well. Excuse me. All right, so an interesting thing with these exact numbers, it would take 2 months to sell the inventory actively on the market. With 42 listings on the market, it would take us 21, or they would go 21 per month, if my rambling makes sense. So really all I'm getting at is we've got 2 months of inventory at current status, which is more than normal. So again, pointing to a less competitive market than it has been. So, let's see, and we were at a $380,000 closed price for those listings that closed in the Marysville School District. On average, they were $380,000. High was $750 and low was $140. So, on the active side, our high is $975, average is $463, and the low is $230. So, here we go. Here's another one, right? Let's see, does it work better? There? Yeah, I guess it works good to do that. So 99%. So on average, people were getting a 1% discount from what the property closed at compared to what it was actually listed for. So, and here's some houses here. I always like to go in descending order. I think that might be a little strong here. $5,260,587 for this house. I'm gonna guess that's not accurate. But I was surprised to see that this one at $1.3 million on Raymond Road, which had 116, I think, acres. 116.6 is in contract, so that's a nice one there. Dave Cook has listed. And if you've got $1 million budget, there's a $975,000 house here that I believe it sold not that long ago. Surprised to see it's going up. That does seem to be something I see consistently happen. Properties in the $1 million range, in my thought process, you would accumulate that amount of money and then you would just kind of find the right place and stay there. But it seems like folks with that much money move a lot. There was one over that direction from my house. Same thing. It was about $1 million. Folks bought it, and 2 months later said, we're going to move on. I haven't personally experienced that, but always willing to help out. So that's a good one. So here's that high property that closed. Hunter's Run, 675 or 650. 750, if I could speak. Let's see. Brown School. Here's another nice one. This one from a map standpoint, as you can see, is over here and is not too far from town. Nice and convenient. I think that one had a little acreage with it, but it's in contract. Let's see some other ones. This is always a neat one. For 620. I'm drawing a blank where that one's at. Yeah, I thought Adena Point. Let's go back to photos. So, fair bit of new builds. Lots of those here. Lots of them in contract. See any other ones to highlight? Let's just sort through and go to the actives. Harmon Patrick. Wow, I wonder what this one is. I haven't looked through this one yet. This one was in rough shape probably 5 years ago. Like hole in the ceiling, cold air coming through the attic. Looks like they made it into quite the nice place. Looks like they like plants just like I do. Well done, folks. Looks like they just had a price reduction, so there's a good one. Fish Street 375. This is a commercial one available. Bradford Insurance. Nice opportunity there in the heart of town. Nice wood doors. I always love those doors. Good work. Woodwork. Looks like a bit high on the price point for the condition, or maybe not the condition, but for the cosmetic age of it. Cool desk. Good opportunity if you've, man, those nice oak doors with medullary rays there. Sucker for good woodwork. And that you can't really buy these days. You can, it's just really expensive. So anyway, looks like a nice office there for somebody. Okay. Oops. This one I like too. Gotta love some character above the cookie cutter stuff. That's a nice one. Yep. Okay. So next up, we've got a lender update. I've asked Build Channel with First Federal Community Bank to give me a lender update every now and again. To keep you guys up to date on the lending aspect of things. So, here's a few words from our roving reporter out in the rain.
Good morning, Derek. Bill Channel with First Federal Community Bank, your roving mortgage loan officer on the street. Today is Friday. It's a rainy Friday, and mortgage news this week. The Fed met, didn't lower rates. Was anticipated with the turbulence in the market and the changing political climate. Expect interest rates to stay a little higher a little longer this year, but remember that will provide an opportunity to buyers as prices will climb less slowly and there might be less demand in the market. Remember that down payment assistance is available in several different ways. There's never been a better time to buy. I hope it's a great day, Derek.
All right, indeed, it is a great day. Thanks for tuning in to Highlights and High Fives. Lots of good stuff going on in the community. Lots of changes, lots of things. Yeah, to stay abreast of. So like I say, if there's anything I can do to help, if you've got good stuff to promote out there, if you want to be on the podcast, good things to share, good things to tell stories about, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to make better connections and more connections out there in the community. So If you need help from a real estate standpoint, obviously I can help you out there. Bill can help you out with the lending side, or I've got other connections for different types of needs. So again, my goal is to be a resource, whether it's community related or the real estate and housing market. Thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you next week. And until then, take care.